Good evening viewers, I'm your host Mubashar Chaudhry. So today we are talking about coronavirus. That is very important, and obviously the whole world is looking at it, what it is and what are the symptoms, is it very dangerous or not. So there are a lot of stories, myths, conspiracy theories on social media which is creating panicking. So that's why we called our panelists which are expert in their opinion and they are expert in their fields. So my first panelist is Dr. Sohail. He is doctor in NHS Bristol. My next panelist is Dr. Sofian Khan. He is PhD doctor in chemistry and he's a researcher and he is also working in very reputed university in United Kingdom. So I start with Dr. Sofian. Dr. Sir, what is this coronavirus?
Virus is just like pathogens in small microorganisms like bacteria. Viruses are smaller than bacteria, actually single cell, really small agents which have proteins inside and outside, nucleic acid inside and protein outside and lipid they can take from living cells, and usually they live on different living cell, can be animals, it can be human, very small. Generally their diameter is 20 nanometer, and for general public our hair thickness is about 80,000 nanometer. So they are that small, about 20 nanometer size dia. Yes, very small.
So especially with this coronavirus, like has there any type of same type of virus were previously were there, or it is especially on its is unique?
Just before going to particularly to this virus, I just need to go back actually and tell my audience that in medicine we call the communicable diseases or infectious diseases. The meaning is the infection which can pass from one person to another. So if we are going to go to the microorganism, there is 4 microorganisms which can be transmitted from one person to another: bacteria, viruses, fungus, and just parasites. Now we are talking on viruses. Now the virus, as Dr. Sofian said, is the smallest and the tiniest organs which can cause just disease. And then viruses has millions and millions of the different kind of them, just viruses. So just corona is a very small viruses, a just group of viruses, is a family group of viruses which is mainly cause condition in animals.
Right.
And in very rare cases it can be transmitted to human, and there is at present there is 7 different coronavirus which is identified, which can transmit it to human beings. Yes.
So why the name corona is being used?
Is derived from just crown, because the just proteins,
because
which,
of the
shape of the virus, the protein like is there. They have just like a crown like thing. This is a very specific just picture which you can see on electron microscope, which is the just biggest microscope can see it. And that's very just important picture.
So, Dr. Sofian, is it like, as Dr. Sohail have said, like it actually generated from animals? So this virus, particularly coronavirus, was an animal virus, and it is being transmitted to human, and from one human to another it is being transmitting. Is that right?
Yes. Basically, yes, as Dr. Sohail said rightly, corona started from the area in China, from animal market. And the suspect is, the birds, they bite the snakes, and then snakes is consumed by, some people are in contact in that market, they have picked that virus. And then they adopt the mutation, the human body, and they can live on human body, and then this become more difficult even when they transfer from animals to a human body. So to develop their vaccine or to develop their cure is become more difficult for those viruses which they get transferred from animals to human as compared to just humans viruses. Yes.
So is it if we see the statistics, like so far you was telling how many cases has been reported?
14,300 is 2 hours before on WHO.
Okay. And how many are the death casualties?
It's two just figures are coming. One is 305, the other one is coming from 441.
Okay, so less or more is 3 to 4%
yes, 3 to 4% is just mortality.
Just for viewers' understanding, so is it if the 100 people been infected through the virus, the casualty is 4. So even considering the point, there is no cure yet. but automatically that virus dies, but with the cautions, obviously.
And very interestingly, there is a 3 cases report in these days, from one from the Turkey and one from America, which we call asymptomatic infection. Asymptomatic infection means that the person has this virus but no symptom at all. So that's which means same virus, which means that we can just miss a lot of these people who has the asymptomatic infection. They don't have any symptoms, but they have infection.
But it means like if they have those type of virus, they can spread that virus across as well.
Yes, that's the real just danger is actually, because we are not just going to put any just restriction on these people because they don't have any symptoms.
So means the symptoms which I have seen, like one is like there would be high temperature, another there is a coughing, and the third one was like you feel difficulty in breathing.
Yes.
So these are 3 symptoms obviously, but it is not really if someone is living in the United Kingdom, for example, so the chances are very less. It could be for some other reason. But if someone actually traveled from China, and especially those areas which this disease is based in, so then it is important for you to tell to NHS. And in order to contact NHS, I think it is 111 they need to call.
111, yeah.
So they need to call 111 quickly, and obviously it is important for them to tell NHS about that. In that way, if it is the case, it can be treated with.
Yes, at the moment NHS is not actually highly alert about these things, because we are obviously we are island actually, and the people who are coming from Wuhan and Hubei actually, these we have a special eye on these people. The people coming from just Beijing, Shanghai, and the other city, probably there is no problem if they don't have any symptoms.
So for viewers, there are 2 cases so far identified particularly for coronavirus. Is that right?
Yes, they are the just students, or they are the Chinese coming from that particular area where just corona is more just prevalent at this time. Yeah.
So that's Sofian. Is the vaccine has been introduced yet, or it is still in the process?
Yeah, it's actually still in process. A lot of different institutes worldwide working on this vaccination. Except China, there are many university institutes working on this vaccination. Queensland University in Australia working. There's a company in Cambridge called Moderna. They are close to discovery now. They have actually vaccine, and they very soon, in a few weeks' time, they said they are going to put on that clinical trial. But this is a long procedure. After developing vaccine, it's very difficult to develop vaccine. As I told you before, especially a virus came from animal to human, and it takes sometimes years. And even you develop vaccine, then clinical trials and regulatory bodies, they see what are the is there any consequences or side effects?
So you reckon it will take months?
Sometimes process
for the vaccination
for commercial product reach to consumer. Yes.
Yes, but one of the very interesting thing which I just need to add on here, because I have couple of hours ago we have a news from Thailand where they have just given antiviral drug to a patient, and that antiviral drug, we have only one antiviral drug which is we use for herpes simplex, cytomegalovirus virus. Only one antiviral in the world. They have combined with HIV, the drugs which we use for HIV, and they have given to the patient who is on obviously ICU, and they have told that the patient has a negative virus result within 48 hours. So that's very encouraging. The things
might
are coming.
Be like there would be existing vaccinations with the merger of something else. It could have been used.
So this, I think antiviral is very good. Antiviral drugs can just give us a hope actually to be used just without any safety trial, because they have already been just used in human beings. It's just like antibiotic. This is called viral drug. Antiviral drugs. Yeah.
So it means WHO said is highly alert, and obviously there is a lot of panic in the public as well. So considering a lot of other medical problems like human face, and there are a lot of casualties as well. So can you, for our viewers, can you tell something about, like, is not much to be panicked?
Yeah, I think it's very important actually. We should not panic, and we should not keep sharing the posts which we don't know, if we don't have deep knowledge of that.
Yeah.
It's not like we receive posts and we send to, hundreds of people in different places. We need to learn first, it's authentic and
so we
it's
need
the right
to know, like,
information.
who is actually giving
And
that.
instead of panic, what people need is basically precautions. And take care, just like if they're going outside, they can wash their hand with soap, and there are specialist soap with antibacterial, antivirus properties. There are gels available in market. You can keep a big bottle, or you can have small bottle with the school children. You can tie with bags, and they can use time to time just to make sure the hygiene of hands. Sanitizer, and people are using masks, although they are not 100% effective. But if you're keeping mask on your face, that means you're not touching your mouth and nose repeatedly, and that gives you benefit.
But for the people who are living in the United Kingdom, they really don't need at this point of time, because there is no emergency.
No emergency like that. Yes. So other cares, if you are cooking food, make sure hygiene of kitchen, and who are cooking food is cleaning hand. And similarly, if you are in contact with animals, make sure you wash hand after that. And especially if you are traveling, because this is spreading. Whatever we have so far, different countries came through travel. And if you have symptoms like that, coughing and sneezing, make sure you first visit your doctor, and make sure you're not suffering from any corona seriously before traveling.
So for UK residents, important for them is, like, if they are planning to travel to China, and especially those affected area, if they can avoid it, is better.
Yeah, that's better.
And if someone actually travel from those area and coming over to them as a guest or as a family member, it is important, like, is a 14 days period, if I'm not wrong.
14 days.
Within 14 days period, they try not to contact to other family members or anyone. So the best cure is that.
Yes. Different viruses have an incubation period, before you start looking the symptoms in anybody who's suffering from corona or other viruses. So there's an incubation period.
So this 14 days is, like, statistically proved on coronavirus?
Yes.
I think they have average is 5.7 days. So most
just
of
to be sure.
most of the patient has the symptom within 6 days.
Right.
And very rare patient go after 10 days, but they have reported 1 or 2 cases in day 13 or day 14. So that's how they calculate from 2 to 14 days is the maximum period. For 100% of the patient can be presented with symptoms, yes.
So people living in United Kingdom, they don't need to worry much about at this point, though we have 2 cases, but both of those cases actually, they came from China. So with related to the products, because obviously there is a lot of negative marketing going on. You don't need to use the Chinese product, this product, that product, and obviously the travel is banned to the China as well. And as we know, China is a very big country. So do you think, like, these are the myths, and we should reject those type of myths?
Yes. Well, it's very rare chance actually, because as I told you, these viruses live on living cells.
Yeah.
And if you are bringing goods from other countries and they are not, like the animals are living, things there, there's almost no chance, the viruses are coming on those goods and through the couriers. So it's nothing to be panicked about that, nothing to worry. Even experts at some extent, if you have meat with that virus and you cook it properly, thoroughly, still, it's safe. Yeah. So it's not like that, the viruses are traveling on different items coming.
But if the goods are coming from Wuhan and those areas, do you think, like, if they reach here within 3 to 4 days, that could be the problem, or not really?
I think there is no problem, because the 100% transmission is from just naso-oral route actually.
Right.
So the transmission has not been reported through any other route actually. So my feeling is that these are safe actually. There is no problem. Yes.
So these kind of viruses, if they, for example, they are on not living cells, so their survival rate is very, very low, or is it zero?
Very low. It is zero, almost zero.
So in next few hours, probably they die.
They die.
Yeah. I mean, it's spreading because if somebody have and is in contact with close proximity to you, and he's sneezing and coughing, and he's spreading in the air, and from the moisture you are inhaling that, then this is how it spreads.
So within certain time period, in a couple of minutes or something, they need another body or another living cell to survive. So obviously it's all what is going on in the market about the Chinese product, that is all wrong. It is probably a negative marketing, we would say. Any last message for our viewers?
I think that we should not just worried about. NHS has a special web page which has been written all just instruction how if someone is coming to China or any symptoms like this, how you can just manage. But otherwise there is no.
So for our viewers, we will share that link to them.
Yes, please share the link there. Okay, so.
And Sofian, would you like to add
Yes,
something?
there is a lot of information from WHO available there about hygiene and precautions. We should follow that, nothing to be panic, and don't spread panic further because there are many other diseases where UNICEF facts and figure, if we see that there are 500,000 people on diarrhea and on pneumonia and other diseases, people die every year.
Yeah.
And foodborne death is about 5,000 in the USA, and there's 1,000 deaths. So the percentage is very less, and it's like one of the disease, and don't have to be panic, just take care, the precautions.
So with this, we close this program, and we'll come back next time with a new program. So important message here is like, yes, there is a virus, and that is spreading, but it's not the panic the way it is being spreaded on the social media. Out of 100, only 3 casualties. Still, it is very high, but the doctors are working very hard on it, and it is purely on those particular 2 areas, Wuhan and Hubei.
Yes.
So these are the areas which are infected, and Chinese government is working very hard on it. But using the Chinese product and all those is normal, and there is no need to worry about. Thank you very much.